So we've got a lot to pay attention to for 2023. A lot of changes coming to the economy, to jobs, to folks' employment, good, bad, indifferent, depending on how you look at it. I actually put up a community post. I had a poll that asked the question of what people thought 2023 would look like in comparison to 2022. And it seemed like there was a huge percentage of folks that thought 2023 was going to be worse than 2022. And more folks were considering 2023 was going to be the same. Very few thought 2023 was going to be better. And I think it's all perspective. However, I think a lot of it comes down to financial independence, financial stability, financial security, financial happiness. Ultimately, you would think the more money you make, the happier you would be. But that's not always the case. And I do think that much like we saw the Great Resignation during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, where folks were pretty much saying that they're done and they are going to adopt this new way of life of working for themselves and working from home, I think we're going to see a lot more of that here in 2023. But it won't necessarily be a bad thing for the people who choose to do it. And I'm going to explain why in just a moment. Working remotely is like ranked up there with passive income, because there's always this dream of folks having the idea that they could not commute, not drive, not go into work, not go into the office and still make good money by doing their job, which some people, perhaps maybe introverts, would prefer to work silently and alone in solitude. And perhaps maybe others, not necessarily introverts, but feel as though that they are more effective and enjoy their work more, are happier when they're not surrounded by some others working nearby or coworkers that they just don't quite get along with. Whatever the case may be, I think that the jobs market is already being heavily scrutinized, especially with the Fed's push to raise interest rates and push for more unemployment. I brought you guys an update where it says Bank of America, I believe it was Bank of America, projected a 2% increase in unemployment in order to get things kind of leveled out. Look, folks, I hope that this unemployment push doesn't affect you. I really do. And if it does, hopefully not terribly, and you're able to recover from it relatively quickly and relatively soon. But more so than hoping that it doesn't affect you, I really hope that you do things to make sure it doesn't affect you more so than anything. And working remotely ties into this very, very closely. And here's why. It's because a lot of these companies and corporations are going to see, more than likely, their best and brightest. They're going to see their best and brightest possibly deciding that they are ready to move on and to pursue happiness and ultimately what matters to them most without having to sacrifice their income. And there's a few ways that this can be done. Now, you guys probably have seen similar case studies and stories and watch like House Hunters International or something like that. And you'll see expats moving to another country to enjoy life in a warmer, more pleasant, tropical climate, perhaps maybe without all the nonsense that goes on inside the United States on a regular basis. It's almost like pretty much living on vacation every day in like a, Caribbean island, tropical island. But in order to do that, you're going to have either a substantial amount of money or the ability to continuously produce income while ultimately working from the beach, working from a villa, an overwater villa, or wherever you choose to live. Some people they go off the grid and they're living out of a van, but they still, or even, oh man, who's the folks on YouTube and they live out of a catamaran full time, but they still have the ability to do what they need to do from a remote location and still generate income to be able to support and sustain their lifestyle. So in my opinion, we're probably going to see 2023 especially with the increased costs that are like going on everywhere, of people saying, you know what, enough is enough. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to A, enjoy every single moment of it, and B, not unnecessarily put myself in a situation, in a position, in a place to have to pay these exorbitantly expensive costs. Folks know that heading down to Mexico, you can actually achieve a much higher quality of life as far as the living circumstances and housing and apartments or whatever it is you choose in Mexico for a fraction of what we pay here. Meanwhile, if you had the ability to live there, but yet the ability to work remotely, to earn, the income that we see here in the United States, but live in another country with a lower cost of living, that would be really like a game changer in terms of retirement and enjoyment and quality of life. And ultimately, like, even if you didn't increase your income, but you reduced your living expenses by half, by 50% or more, that's almost like getting a giant raise. You see what I'm saying? Because it's less money you have to spend. But today, technology, business opportunities, and the demand for extremely highly qualified and talented individuals is going to really put these jobs and these companies and these employers in a little bit of a jam. And this is just my opinion on what's going to happen. Okay. The best and brightest are going to pursue happiness and what matters to them most without having to sacrifice their income. And they're going to be able to do this by pretty much holding these companies hostage with the skills and their ability, while being able to leverage and utilize freelance work and also other side hustles and passive incomes. For instance, something as simple as print on demand and drop shipping, courses, and consulting. So think about this. You could be an engineer. You could be an engineer. You could be an analyst. You could be a technician. You could be a variety of different things, especially within like the tech sector. And all you need is a laptop or a computer and your security key to get into access, with a rolling code that's always encrypted and constantly changing. And you can pretty much work anywhere. Almost. Got to have internet, a solid internet connection, which Elon Musk and Starlink or Skylink or whatever his company is called is continuously trying to make sure that anybody can have internet, high-speed internet, relatively stable and reliable high-speed internet almost anywhere in the world. But by having the ability to freelance your work, you don't even have to be an employee. You could be a 1099 contractor. You could be self-employed contractor working for a variety of companies in this with your skill set, okay? And then you could also supplement your income with side hustles and passive income streams like print on demand, like with Amazon merch or with Teespring or other services like that, even, using these in conjunction with perhaps maybe even building a Shopify store to facilitate a drop shipping company. So now you've got the income coming in as a 1099 contractor doing freelance work in the tech sector. You have a print on demand side hustle that's producing passive income streams that once you set it up, it pretty much runs itself. And no matter where you are in the world, it'll still operate. And then you could have this drop shipping service run through Shopify. Again, once you set it up, it's pretty much automated. And then beyond that, you could even start with teaching folks through courses and masterclass and Teachable and a variety of other platforms and services that allow you to share your knowledge with the world and receive monetary compensation for it, in addition to one-on-one consulting. So these are all things that can literally happen from anywhere without having to be bound and tied to a desk or an employer or anything like that. Further improving folks' quality of life, which is the main goal, because people have probably, in my opinion, come to realize that quality of life is going to supersede almost anything else in the world. And especially now, seeing and connecting the dots that I can increase and improve and achieve this high quality of life while also maintaining a high level of income, no matter where, no matter where. So quality of life is going to take over while folks continue to deploy the 5 basic steps of survival. Making more money is number one. We've already discussed that with freelance work and passive income streams and print on demand and drop shipping and courses and consulting, and the list can go on and on. If you guys want to know more about that, just let me know. So you make more money, you spend less than you make, which we've already discussed that. We're moving to countries that are lowering the cost of living for the area. So we're going to make more money, we're going to spend less money. Then we're going to make sure our budget is in check. And that budget means, what are our necessities, must-haves, have to pay for: shelter, food, water, utilities, healthcare, whatever it may be, transportation. Gotta have those set. Then you set aside, a little bit of discretionary emergency cushion, some fun money. And then beyond that, you'll have excess that you're going to put into the 4th category, which is savings and investing. Because once you get to the savings and investing point, then we're moving on to the 5th, which is growth. I'm sorry. The 5th is savings and investing in growth. The 4th is eliminating high interest credit card debt and revolving debt. But I've skipped over that, because if we're moving to a coastal tropical Caribbean island, I already know that is the furthest thing from your mind, because you're not going to be waking up sipping pina coladas out of coconuts with credit card debt. That's not going to happen. Okay, so just remove that from your vocabulary. And if you haven't yet, then let's talk about that, because actually comment down below if you want to talk about ways to get out of credit card debt, because these are the steps that are going to not only bring a higher happiness level and quality of life to many, but are going to be the building blocks for those who are looking and planning and preparing to walk away from this ball and chain of a job and a career, and also put themselves in positions where they're no longer going to be vulnerable to layoffs. They're going to have multiple streams of income, passive streams of income. They're going to be independent contractors, and they're going to have their pick of the litter on what they want to do and how they want to make their living, make their money, make their fortune, make money to go towards their fortune. And the crazy part about it is not even necessarily the fact and the idea that perhaps maybe being in the tech sector is what's going to drive up your income. That is just kind of like the baseline. That's the foundation. That's the constant. The variable is going to be your side hustles and your passive income streams, and the possibility of those actually exceeding in revenues what you earn from your primary career, which ultimately then at that point you can move on to a phase of retirement where you don't necessarily have to work. You could literally live off of your passive income streams and enjoy every single day of your life doing whatever you want, whenever you want, and not having to worry about where the money's coming from. With that being said, all that money coming in has been budgeted. We don't have any debt. We don't have any waste. And it's being invested and is continuously growing, producing compounded interest and returns that are further supporting your lifestyle of literally living this remote work-free passive income dream. Tell me, come on, guys. Let me get a little closer here. Tell me if you wouldn't enjoy that lifestyle. Now, how do we do it? Well, there's a variety of different ways that it can be done, but let's just start with the simple idea of creating a business. So if you haven't created a business, then we need to go ahead and get that done. Simple, easy process, link in the description, check it out. Start your business now. Why? That business is going to set you up as a contractor. That way that you can remove yourself from the employee role. Introduce the new and improved you, which is a company, which is a corporation, which is a separate entity, which not only is going to separate you from the employees vulnerable to layoffs, but it's also going to increase your level of protection and security while also improving your taxable income situation, which we'll talk about in another video. So we want to start a business. Okay. Once we get that set up, then we're off to the races. We want to from there, we want to then start building out and developing our multiple passive income streams. So we want to start a print on demand service. Like I said, Amazon merch is a great way to get started. And if you guys want to know more about that and how to get those going, get your account set up, get your artwork uploaded, get your products listed and set your prices, just let me know. Comment down below. Additionally, from there, we're not going to stop. We're going to maintain this diversity. We don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. We want to be diverse and we want to have multiple streams of income on our way to producing multiple streams of passive income. So after we set that up, then we're going to set up our print on demand, which can be in other platforms besides Amazon merch. And then we're going to be looking at taking advantage of creating courses and teaching people what we know, to help them grow themselves, to put them in similar positions of living a lifestyle of enjoyment, increasing their quality of living and happiness, and removing themselves from living to work. So from there, we have the options of getting involved in some consulting, which in my opinion, consulting is really cool. So the courses, you can set those up and those can be automated, right? But the consulting, to me, that's when you get one-on-ones. That's when you get group sessions. That's when you perhaps maybe set up a seminar at a resort, at this private island, at this tropical Caribbean island that you're living on. You have there's always going to be a really nice hotel, nice resort with a conference room or a ballroom or few, where you could fit about, a few hundred people in there. And then you can start hitting them with the consulting. And that's when you can start to really touch lives. You can really start to connect with people like one-on-one, like really engage and get real-time feedback. And that to me is the best, because that's when you start to really see it click for people. You get people coming to you and saying, wow, I never thought about it that way. Or, I appreciate your help. I took your course and it got me here. And so I had to come here to the seminar to meet up with you. Or even the consulting could be a one-on-one phone call where you can have these calls. You can have a Zoom, you can have a Skype, and you can really help people connect the dots, where I'm seeing more and more that people want this. They want this. They want help. They want a friend. They want answers. They want a mentor. They want somebody they can talk to help them along this journey to get out of this rat race. But they don't know what to do first, where to turn, who to talk to. And when you have that ability to have that one-on-one, it's a game changer, because I could say something on this video and I'll ask you if you want to know more. You drop a comment. You got to hope and wait and see if I see the comment. Then you got to see if I'm going to make the content based on the comment. Does the content that I make based on the comment answer your question? That's why the consulting and the one-on-one and the personal phone calls and the live chats are so important, is because you can do this in real time, get back and forth, and you're going to be way more effective and efficient in accomplishing and achieving these goals. So from there, the sky is the limit, folks. From there, honestly, I didn't mention it in this video, but honestly, content creation, social media, building a brand. Just think, if you're living on a tropical Caribbean island and you're not making content with drone footage and jungle excursions and zip lines and snorkeling and boating and sailing and everything, all the beautiful things, the food, the cuisine, the cocktails, the people, the dancing, if you're not taking this travel, if you're not taking this experience and sharing it with the world, you're missing out on a huge opportunity to further increase your income, earning potential in diverse income streams with the tools that you have readily available to you, literally at no extra cost. You just have to turn on the camera and record your surroundings. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, because it goes so much further from there. We would be here for hours discussing it, but literally, in my opinion, all these components, all these little pieces are the reason why we're going to see such a huge and drastic change in employment, in business, especially with professionals, especially with folks who are extremely talented and ready to move on and actually live a much more enjoyable and a much higher quality of life by utilizing the skills that they have available to them and the technology, and how technology has made it so easy to run businesses from almost anywhere and succeed and produce revenues and grow respectable portfolios from anywhere in the world for the most part. Like I said, you got to have a solid internet connection. This, in my opinion, is going to be the game changer of why we see such a drastic change and a shift in employment from what we once knew to what will be the new norm of people working remotely, taking advantage of freelance work, side hustles, passive income, and technology and social media, and building a brand and affiliate marketing and sponsorship deals and paid promotions, and the list goes on and on. That is going to be the game changer. And if you guys want to know more, feel free to hit me up. My information is in the description. I love talking about it. I love to share this information with you. And if you're thinking about starting as a beginner or have already begun and you want to know how to improve the system that you have in place or anything of the sort, feel free to contact me anytime. You guys take care. Be safe. I'll see you next one. Bye.